have the floor.
Thank you. That's a tough act to follow. Committee chairs, Senator Kushner, Representative Porter, members of Labor and Public Employees Committee. My name is Mitch Goldblatt. I'm Director of Human Resources for the town of Guilford and also President of the Connecticut Public Employer Labor Relations Association, also known as COMPELRA. In addition, I'm a member of the Town of Orange Board of Selectmen and serve on the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities Policy Committee on Labor Relations. Plain and simple, the proposed changes outlined in Senate Bill 908 are unnecessary, provide an overreaction to the current labor situation in cities and towns, and place an unfunded mandate on our municipalities. This bill creates issues where, quite frankly, none may exist. Labor relations is about communications between municipalities and their respective labor unions. However, Senate Bill 908 implies that we are incapable of communicating effectively and imposes huge unnecessary and unfunded burdens on towns and cities. The state legislature should be aware of the difficult municipal job market and the need to effectively onboard successful candidates as soon as possible. Such orientation typically takes place on the first day of employment, which may be just a few days after securing necessary approvals, background checks, and commitments. I have no problem making time in my schedule to conduct such orientations and allowing a union representative to attend, which they often actually do. It would be only fair to provide the exclusive representative the same amount of time before orientation is given to the employee. But waiting a minimum of 10 days could actually jeopardize or slow the actual hiring process, especially in the need of public safety for those towns and cities that hire as quickly as possible. The need to negotiate the structure, time, and manner of orientations is simply ridiculous and unnecessary. Unlike some of my colleagues, I personally disagree with the Supreme Court decision of Janus versus AFSCME, which allows for freeloading among other issues. However, my counterparts have reported very little erosion of union membership, if at all, since that decision, and these bills will only create issues between management and labor where none currently exist. Most human resource professionals in Connecticut have a good working relationship with their union leadership. These bills will strike an unnecessary wedge between the parties and potentially create an adversarial relationship that never before existed. In Guilford, I provide workplace information to the union leaders whenever requested and not to a mandated schedule. However, I have no idea how numerous small towns like my town of Orange, which don't have a human resource department, can even comply with the intent and restrictions that this bill contains without additional staffing, making this an unfunded mandate. Finally, this bill would delegate certain payroll functions to the union. Municipalities don't make any payroll deductions, including taxes, medical cost sharing, or retirement savings, to name a few, without written authorization from the employee themselves. To allow for the union or anyone else to authorize a deduction for any individual is certainly unwise, exposing the employer to claims later whether such deductions were actually authorized and creating a very, very dangerous precedent. In fact, a good portion of the bill discusses the resolution of disputes on unfair labor practices over dues deductions. This can all be easily eliminated by not forcing the exclusive representatives to be holding on to dues authorizations. It is simple. Dues authorizations signed by the employee and submitted to payroll will be processed, as they always have. On a side note, this bill differs from previously submitted bills on the same topic by eliminating language on how an employee can opt out of union membership. That in itself is a major flaw and certainly does not follow the Supreme Court decision. You know, all the issues I've raised can be relieved by adding the phrase, quote,
Thank you,
or as
Mr.
agreed
Goldblatt.
upon.
Your 3 minutes have concluded. Please conclude your remarks.
I'm going to conclude, thank you. Or as agreed upon between the employer and the exclusive representative. But the legitimate concerns with the current bill should be evidence enough for its defeat. Putting all these mandates together will only jeopardize and strain future labor management relations in the state of Connecticut. I strongly urge you to vote no on Senate Bill 908. Thank you for your time this morning. I'm willing to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Goldblatt. And I